Alright, it's Julian Say signing in here. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and we was talking about, I was kind of leaving her name, but we was talking about a situation. I said, why don't, y'all do stuff together anymore? And she said, well, we'll go there, but they'll never, come here. And, and she just kept talking. And as she said it, it kind of caught me, like, my mom's not a negative person. Like, that just doesn't sound like her. She's such a powerful woman, strong in her faith. God, I mean, she's my base, And to hear her say that just kind of caught me off guard. So I just started thinking, like, yo, that's not my mom's heart. That's her subconscious. Like, that's her mind. Like, that's what's been put into her mind. I don't know, via society or via just life or environment or whatever. And it started to make me think, like, we use the words never, can't, always. A lot of times we use those words in a negative tone. Like, I'll never get this job, or I'll never get married, or I'll never get to play varsity, or, you can go down the list. I'll never get a home. I'll never have a family. All those good, things. And the same thing with can't, always. But then when it comes to, like, the positivity, we'll say, well, maybe someday I'll have a house, or maybe I'll get that job, or maybe I'll find that husband, or maybe I'll have a family. Or so when it comes to the positive, you're using short-term words, or words that are uncertain, or words that are, they're soft. Can't, never, always are like defining words, not positive, but strong words that last for a long time. But we're always using that in a negative sense. Like, we have to change our subconscious mind, or you have to maybe make an environment change. You begin to read more books. Like, you can't keep putting bad things into your mind and then try to get better things in your life. Like, whatever your input is what your output is going to be. So if you're constantly putting those negative things in your life, or you're around those people that use those words, or you listen to that music that uses those words, can't, never, always, or you hear the commercials, or you watch a movie, or, like, there's so many things that are poured into our heads every day. Or you're around, those family members that, either say maybe or sometimes, or just kind of those, like, I wish things happen in my life type of people. Like, that's what you're going to be. And that's what you're going to get. Like, if you want greatness, like, you have to be willing to change your input and everything about it, to the point where you become your own best coach. Like, you can catch yourself when you say things and you correct it, and be willing to correct it, and be willing for people to correct you when if somebody else points it out to you, like, you know what, I'm gonna take a deep breath, take a step back, listen to what they said, process it, say, you know what, I do need to change that. Then you tell that person thank you. Like, a lot of times we're so fast to be defensive. Like, you're not in a good state of learning when you're defensive. When you're open to that criticism, and I mean open to the point where, like, it doesn't crush you. Like, you got to build yourself up to where criticism doesn't crush you. It constructs you. I like that. I just came up with that. But yeah, criticism doesn't. Dang, what did I say? I can't even remember the word, but it was a good one. Yeah, but where it builds you up, criticism can construct you. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times mentally we're soft, so we let it tear us down. But if we let it construct us, man, then in a positive way, to where we don't let it beat us up, just knowing that, hey, we was trying our best, we was doing our best, we made some mistakes, but you know what? It ain't gonna happen again, damn it, I'm gonna be better. Then you just continue to, like, climb that ladder, man, and I get, the sky's the limit. Like, I haven't made anything of myself yet. I mean, I'm just a young guy out here, man, trying to coach and, lead some kids' hearts and build character and, I don't know, change the world from the ground up, I guess. But gosh, I'd imagine that, like, that's how successful people think. It almost has to be. Like, there's a common denominator when I hear, I go to these, conventions and listen to coaches and hear people talk. Like, they always use the word the process. And I a few years ago, I had no clue what that word meant. But boy, when my process started, I found out quickly. we all have to endure a process. You kind of go into the wilderness and you wander for a while and you end up in a cave, and it's just you recognizing that this world isn't here for you. Like, this world was not put here for you. Like, you're only as good as what you can do for other people. Like, how can you change a person's life today? You know, how can you change their course of thinking? You know, make them one of those people. Like, make them one of those people that can go out and change other people. Now, how do you do that? And I don't mean change. Change is not the word. Change is not the word, because you can't change people. Help build up people. Help build people that can go help build. Like, because right now we got a bunch of people that are lost, that are doing what they think is the norm, is what is okay. What's going on now is not okay. It's not okay. And I'm not going to go down the list. You guys can fill in the blanks. I can name tons of things that has been made to be okay in our society, and that's not what God intended. So you have to unbrainwash yourself. Like, whatever you got to read. I mean, for me, it's God and the Bible, and, you know, and then positive books that are, and I don't care who the author is. If I know it's something that can work on me mentally and help challenge me mentally, I'm gonna read it. One of my favorite speakers, and I hate the name drop, but Kevin Eastman, he said it in Indiana this summer. I heard it. He said he reads for 2 hours a day. There's no, you see the face. There's no negotiating that. 2 hours a day, every day. And when he first said it, I was like, man, damn, I ain't got time for that. Like, I got kids. Like, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. I'm just going down the list. I made up all kinds of excuses. And I don't know why I could not get that out of my head the whole day after he spoke. I was like, yo, for real, man, this dude do not read for 2 hours. Like, dog, like, for real, I'll fall asleep. Like, 15 minutes, I'll fall asleep. I kept thinking about it. I couldn't let it go. And then, like, I was literally laying in bed thinking about, like, why would he read for 2 hours a day? Like, why would you read for 2 hours a day? And I couldn't let the thought go until I figured it out. And I figured it out. Like, he's just trying to grow more. Like, he's just trying to learn more. And every opportunity, he may read 2 words that are put together that may spark an idea in his mind that can change everything. I say use the snap of a finger, but it, you know, those who are going through it know it's not the snap of a finger that got you to that point. But you can read 2 words that can change your life forever. Literally forever, the course of your life. So you hear these people talk about the process and you know all that. And after going through it, you understand. Like, for me as a coach, I understand as a coach, I can control the process. I can control part of the process of this player with my coaching if I approach it that way. If I throw out all the X's and O's. Like, as a basketball coach, you know, like, obviously we got to know X's and O's. That's your philosophy, whatever. But how are you going to affect this kid character-wise? How are you going to teach him what this thing is about? Like, and not even just, like, you use basketball as the platform, but it's not even about basketball. Like, you know that these kids are going to leave your sight someday, and you want them to be able to sustain a relationship with a woman, you know, keep a job, be able to get a house, take care of their kids, give back to their community, want to be the best at, you know, what they do. Like, all of those things, like, have faith in God. You know, obviously that's in the middle of every single thing that you're doing. But that's your hope. Like after going through the process and knowing what it did for me, somebody that's been through it and still going through it, and I'll still continue to go through it. I'm not saying my trials are over by any means. I just think you get stronger as they go and they become easier to deal with because you know where your strength is coming from. But I jump back and forth and stuff. But controlling the process, you get to help build that kid up. You get to help build that army of good people. And I don't know if we're as coaches, teachers, parents, people who run the register at the gas station, the factory worker, it's any and everybody can build people. Any and everybody can build people. You just have to make a choice. And honestly, I guess where all that starts, is a love. People have to start showing more love or more tolerance for each other and more patience. Love, tolerance, and patience. Because it's a process. It's a process to get people to think how you think and to see the world through your lenses. And that's one thing I have to get better at. My love is on point, but my tolerance and patience has to get better. I am working on those really, really, really hard right now. But if we can get a tolerance and a patience for people, on top of that love, man, who knows, man? I mean, who knows? We've tried it the other way. I don't know. Give it a try. Love y'all, man.